Alright, no crazy things today. I didn't know which guitar to play. I was going to play this black Rhodes. Great guitar. It's my slick black Cadillac. What is today? The 11th? January 11th. Wow, January 11th. January sucks. 1995. Friend of mine, my best friend, Tony Rydell, passed away January 7th or 8th. It was 2 weeks before the earthquake in 95. That's all I remember. It was like 2 weeks later, the earthquake. And I'm like, what else? That was so horrible. So horrible. Death sucks for the living. For people that have passed away, it's actually really great. Especially if you've lived a pretty good, if you've had a pretty good life, if you've lived life fairly, haven't screwed people over bad, you haven't been a complete jerk. Drug addict, you're hurting yourself and others, but you're mainly hurting yourself. Okay, so when my friend died, Tony died, or 95, almost to the day, just a few days, I just found out that my guitar teacher, not Randy Rhodes, and not Joe from, I've had three. First was Joe from Larry Larson, Randy Rhodes, and then who took over for Randy Rhodes, who really took over, his number one student, Craig Collins Turner. Now, I never called him Craig Collins Turner. He took that on later, I think, when he started teaching at MIT or something. But I just knew him as Craig Turner. Craig Turner. Craig Turner. I took lessons from him for a long time. For I think most part of the 11th grade, 12th grade, and after, because I met my first wife through there, kind of, in a way. But she lived down the street, but she was dating this dweeb that took lessons there at Musonia when I was taking lessons from Craig. And she was always there, and she was always looking at me, and I'm thinking, there's that little girl from Burbank High. She was like a little tomboy, very cute. Obviously, I married her. I had a son with her. I mean, of course she was cute. But when she was untomboyed and had her hair done and makeup, or even no makeup, just she was naturally pretty. And anyways, that's how I met my first wife, is through Musonia, basically. And so to find out that Craig Turner died, I just found out several hours ago. I got a message on my on Facebook saying, from Craig's site, saying about his service. I'm like, his service? And then I went to my first wife's site, and she had a picture of him when we knew him, when his hair was different than it is, or was. And I'm like, why did she put that picture up? Something's wrong. And so I went to his site, and something is wrong. So Craig Turner is gone. Now, for him, that's great. For everybody else, it sucks. I miss him. I cried. I have been crying all day. This sucks. But I gotta try to keep reminding myself, for Craig, this does not suck. This is great. Now, for those of you who are atheists, then you pray to science, and good luck with that. I've died. And whether you want to believe that or not, well, the fact is I did die. Whether you want to believe what I saw when I was dead for 4 minutes is your choice. I know what I saw. And I know what it is after this, and it's great. So I know Craig was a good guy, unless he got into like smuggling people or something in the past few years that I wasn't aware of. And I know he wouldn't, because he was a kind-hearted. He was very much like Randy Rhoads in that way. Soft-spoken, shy, but on the guitar he was an animal. He was great. But like how Randy had his classical influence, Craig Turner had more of a, not jazz, but Alan Holdsworth. That's all he talked about. Alan Holdsworth. I don't know, like, I'd listen to him and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm not getting it. But I was young and stupid, 17, 18 is when I knew him. 19. Because him and Drew Forsyth, because they had a band called Network with a couple other guys. Drew and Craig came over to my house to see my son like 2 or 3 days after he was, we brought him home. So they were one of the first friends of mine to come over. See, that's more than just a guitar teacher. That's a friend. And he was a friend. He was a great friend for like years. And so was Drew. So is Drew. I haven't talked to Drew in a few years. I talked to Craig last time when Alan Holdsworth was playing out in Agua Dulce, or not Agua Dulce, but out there. My friend Ruben, his band was opening. I'm thinking, what the heck? What are the odds? So I called, Ruben could get me probably, tickets. So I said, hey, Craig, do you want to go? Of course, his girlfriend or wife, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't really keep that much track of things, because I'm too dealing with my stuff. But I don't know if he was married or not, Craig. But if he was, I'm sorry to his wife or girlfriend. Apparently she's the one that sent out that message to everybody on his Facebook or his friends or whatever. So that was a shock to wake up to. It's like, what? Yeah. Now Craig's dead. And the last time I talked to him, I was going to go see him and we were going to hang out. And we were gonna, but we never did, because you never think anything's going to happen. And then it does. Then you feel like crap. So I'm crying. I don't really want to talk to anybody. I do, but I don't. I actually called one person. They didn't pick up. So I was actually relieved, because I don't want to talk to anybody about it. Figured I'd make a video. So, alright, I better get a guitar and play a little bit. But he taught me a lot. I took lessons from him for like 2 or 3 years. I can't think of one single thing. The only thing, there's a few things that stand out. One time I accidentally took a hit of something that's legal now, but back then it wasn't. And I was 17, and it was laced with PCP. That's bad, especially if you're not, ready for it. So I was freaking out, and I had guitar lessons that night, and I had to go in, and Craig was my teacher, and he's like, dude, what do you do? So he gives me this lecture, started to, and then he realized this isn't working. I just need to calm this kid down. And he did. He actually took extra time to do it. So he was more than a teacher. He was a friend, and he was someone I looked up to. Well, he was very short, but I still looked up to him, if you know what I mean. man, I'm gonna miss that guy. I haven't talked to him in a few years. This sucks. It just sucks. He was a great guitar player. And this is so all these, when Randy died, it was down to 3 people. 3 people it was down to very quickly, because they knew they'd already gone through Hollywood already. There were very few new guitar players that popped up between 79 and 82. Very few. So it was down to George Lynch, whose tone sucked, and he was just trying too hard to be Eddie Van Halen, so I knew he wouldn't get it. Craig Turner was number 2, and number 1 was the guy that got it, Jakey Lee. And I still don't know why. I still don't understand why he was picked. I personally think he's massively overrated. And he didn't use a bar on purpose because everybody was using a bar. But he still did all this other Van Halen stuff, so whatever. So Craig was the second up. He was the second runner-up for the Ozzy gig after Randy. Craig Turner. Craig Collins Turner. So that's the truth. And why he didn't get it, I know exactly why he didn't get it. And those close to him know exactly why he didn't get it. And it's bull crap, but whatever. Such is the politics and rock and roll in life. Anyways, he still went on to be in his own bands, and he was a good friend of mine. And for a while, for like an hour now, I've been trying to think of one thing that he taught me, and I can't. Because he taught me so much. Everything that I know, pretty much. I mean, Randy taught me a very few things. Joe taught me the basics. He got me going on chords. So, and a little bit of jazz, so I owe that to Joe. But all of my guitar playing I owe to Craig. Not only just the teaching part, but going to see him play, because he played a lot. And so we were going to see Network with Drew on drums, Quiet Riot, Drew Forstyh. And then my friend George, taking bass lessons. Bass teacher at Musonia was Tony Cavazzo, Carlos's brother. And they were in Dubrow. And they were recording Dubrow's solo album, which became Quiet Riot at the last minute. So all the bass on Quiet Riot is Tony Cavazzo. 2 tracks were by that other guy, and none by Rudy as usual. Who cares? This is devoted to Craig. Craig, I love you. You were my best guitar teacher. You taught me more than anybody else. About guitar, about being on stage. I just told this story the other night, like the night before he died. Or 2 nights before, I put up that I finally got my own band going, and we were playing the Troubadour. And the first 3 songs, I solo in the first 3 songs. I'm doing the solo. There's another guitar player, unfortunately. So he comes running up, him and Drew, and stand right in front of me, and they're like, yeah, doing this. And I'm right when I'm getting ready to go into my solo, and Craig and Drew both knew that I hated soloing because the spotlight's on you, and everybody's expecting something greater than everybody else. It's like, is he gonna just put out like blah, 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 and whatever? So that's why I played as fast as I could and made crazy noises and got it over with. Beep. Next, let's go on to the song. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but it was funny. And I just remember that the other night. Him and Drew and I'm just standing looking at my teacher and Drew looking up at me while I'm getting ready to go into the solo for Young Love Is Just Lust. And I think I screwed it up massively because I was so nervous. I blacked out. I can remember the solo now. I haven't played it in like 30 years, but simple solo that I wrote out myself, but I just totally blacked out. So, and I wish I could remember some of his songs. I mean, I used to know 3 of them that he recorded demos for Network and stuff, but I can't. So anyways, I'm just going to play a little stuff that maybe I can remember that he taught me or just whatever. And this is dedicated to my friend and guitar teacher for the longest time. And my friend, Craig Turner. Right? Sorry, Craig. I'm getting emotional. I can't play. That first part was like a take on one of his songs, the harmonics and stuff. It's just stupid. I can't play. I can't play. Sorry. I miss you, Craig. You're the best teacher I had and friend. God bless you.